Right guys, we have details on future Apple Watch upgrades ranging from bigger displays to blood glucose monitoring, so let's delve into it. So beginning with bigger displays, research firm Omdia says we could see big upgrades for both the regular Apple Watch and the SE next year. So basically similar to the iPhone X, we could see a 10th anniversary Apple Watch to commemorate 10 years of this product, since do remember the first generation watch was revealed during September 2014. And so yes, in 2024 to commemorate this, we could see an Apple Watch Series X, and the main upgrade's gonna be bigger displays, with the smaller size being 1.89 inches and the bigger size being 2.04 inches. So that's a 5 to 10% increase over the current Apple Watch sizes, which is pretty nice. And this actually would make sense based on how often Apple redesigns the Apple Watch, since remember the first generation watch, then the Series 2 and the 3 had the same design, then we had the Series 4, the Series 5 and the Series 6, they had the same design, and so the Series 7, the Series 8 and this year's Series 9 should have the same sizes, and then of course we see bigger displays with the Series X. And because we're going to get bigger displays with the regular Apple Watch, this allows the SE to adopt the Series 7 design, since of course right now the SE uses the Series 4 design language. And so yes, in 2024 the SE3 should get the 41 and the 45mm size options with the bigger displays, and that's going to be a pretty nice upgrade. Since remember right now, because of the larger panel on the Series 8, we have a full-size keyboard which is pretty handy, so if the SE3 could get this, that would be a change many would appreciate. However, I will say it's kinda stupid, Apple does not bring the full-size keyboard to older watches, since remember the 41mm Series 8 is actually smaller than the 44mm size, but for some reason those watches do not get this feature, so it does kind of feel like planned obsolescence. But anyways, I'm glad the SE could finally get this. Now there's no other details regarding the Series X, and so that has me wondering, are we going to see changes with the body itself? Of course, we had rumours regarding the Series 7 getting flat sides, that turned out to not be the case, and the Ultra got the flat sides instead. And so could the Series X now follow suit? I think a design change for the regular watches would be pretty nice, but yeah, the main upgrade's gonna be bigger displays. Now this report also mentions the Apple Watch Ultra is also seeing a display increase, and this was mentioned by other sources, specifically Jeff Pu and Ross Young CS. Considering we have 3 sources confirming this, it does seem to be pretty likely. And for those wondering how much bigger it's going to get, it's going to be 2.13 inches, which is a sizable increase over the existing 1.99 inch panel. Now for those wondering, hey, we've heard so much about next year's Apple Watches, but what about this year's Apple Watch? Well, here's the thing, we don't know if the Ultra is going to be getting yearly updates like the regular Apple Watch, and we know the SE does not get yearly refreshes, and so that leaves the regular Series 9 as the only Apple Watch that we know for sure is going to launch this year. And well, as I said, since this will be the 3rd year of the Series 7 design, don't expect a redesign or a display increase with this. It should get a chip upgrade on the insides, since fun fact, the S6, the S7 and the S8 chip are actually identical, so the S9 could be the first big upgrade for the Apple Watch in terms of performance, but that's about it. This again is going to be a minor refresh. Now let's go back to future Apple Watch upgrades, because a big upgrade that's been in the works for years is blood glucose monitoring. So the big challenge for Apple has been the fact the main method of monitoring glucose has been pricking the skin for blood testing, but of course Apple can't do this with the watch, and so they've been working on non-invasive methods of this tech for the Apple Watch, and Gurman says they've now made some big progress. So basically Apple is developing a silicon photonics chip that uses optical absorption spectroscopy to shine light from a laser under the skin, and that determines the concentration of glucose in the body. Now that sounds very high tech, but if it works as intended, that could be game changing. Now the big issue Apple is currently facing is miniaturizing this tech and actually getting it to fit on the Apple Watch. You see, right now the current prototype device with this tech is the size of an iPhone, and before that the tech was big enough that it required a tabletop, and so that would not be fit for an Apple Watch, and so that's going to be the big hurdle and the reason why this won't be launching anytime soon. But honestly, I'm just glad Apple's working on this because this really could be life-changing for many consumers, and it would be a big advantage for the Apple Watch that would put it above other smartwatches. And by the way, for those wondering, TSMC's developed the main chip to power the prototype device, and so eventually when Apple can miniaturize the tech, TSMC should be able to mass produce it. Though apparently Apple partnered with a company before called Rockley Photonics, and they actually released a sensor that can monitor blood glucose, and so yeah, that's again more evidence this is actively in the works. And apparently for this project, and other features Apple could launch in the future, Apple does have a secret design group called XDG, and apparently they initially started working on this back in 2010, so yeah, it's been a long while. In fact, apparently Steve Jobs was pushing for this after buying a company that specializes alternative glucose monitoring, so it's pretty crazy. This has been in the works for over a decade. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we do see this within the next 5 years. Anyways, let's delve into your questions. So regarding the 12-inch MacBook revival being killed off, no one you know says, that's a shame, but hopefully with the M4, M5 chip in the near future with a better manufacturing process, it does return. A 12-inch would definitely be a very, very nice laptop. It would be cool, fast, powerful, and thin. So yes, I'm very much hoping that's the case. Apple should not let go of the 12-inch MacBook design because, as many have said, it's perfect for Apple Silicon because it's a very small and compact laptop, and the efficiency of Apple Silicon would have been ideal for it. And so hopefully once a recession's over, Apple can of course reconsider reviving this. So at Miami 305 BLK says, I think the 12-inch MacBook was driven by Johnny Ive's vision of laptops, and it seems Apple's now trying to distance themselves from radical design and be more utilitarian. So that's actually a very fair point because we saw this with the new MacBooks. They were thicker than the previous generation and gave us back the ports, but that's the way Apple should be going because the consumers wanted the ports back, and so sticking with the utilitarian design does make sense. However, even if the design as we know it does not return, I'm hoping Apple can bring back the 12-inch form factor because it makes so much sense to have a compact sub $1,000 laptop in the range, and so hopefully we do see a new 12-inch MacBook in the near future, but of course with a MacBook Air inspired design. Anyways, that's about it guys, but tell me your thoughts regarding this report in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one.